Hey guys, what's up? This is Tim Very from Very Technical, and today I'm here with Windows 8 to show off some of the touch features. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to go ahead and hit the Windows key, and now it brings up the Start menu. Now this is radically different from just about every Start menu that Microsoft has put out, mainly because it's now a full screen application that will eventually hold other applications that will run inside this new Metro environment. Now, if you've used Windows Phone 7, or even if you're in the beta testing program for the Microsoft Xbox Live dashboard, you might have seen a tile interface that's somewhat similar to this. And especially in the case of Windows Phone 7, all these tiles that you're seeing on the screen are live and updated in real time. So for an example, we're going to go ahead and open the tweeting application. Now this application is called Tweetorama, and it's basically a front end for Twitter, and it will allow you to basically do anything that you would be able to do using the website or another application like TweetDeck, which is a more traditional Windows application that won't run full screen like this, but you can run it in a window or dock it on the side of the screen. Now with Metro, the applications are always going to be either full screen, or they'll take up a third of the screen, and another application, including the desktop, can take up the remaining 2/3 of the screen. So in these touch applications, you can use touch, and there's a bit of inertia, but for the most part, it's more like Android and maybe Mamo than it is Apple iOS or Mac OS, where you just have a lot of inertia and you can just flick around. At least in my experience with those mobile OSs, I just never had very good luck on anything but an iPhone with the inertia scrolling. But some people have got it working better than others. So you'll notice that we're now in a full screen application, and when I first started playing around with this, it wasn't immediately apparent to me how to get out of the application. And unfortunately, Microsoft doesn't really make it clear how you are supposed to get out. Now, I tried escape, just hitting it a bunch of times at first, because I figured, hey, it's full screen. Hit that to back out. I tried Alt Enter, and then I tried just app switching Alt Tab, and that does work. That still works. You get a little bit of the arrow peak, but nothing really new there. What is new, however, is the new way to switch applications, at least in Metro, that Microsoft wants you to use, and that is to use touch, and you can put your finger on the side of the screen and drag it over, and you'll see basically a preview of the application, and then you can obviously make it full screen. Now, if you have a resolution above 1366 by 768, you are able to run two Metro applications side by side, or the desktop and one Metro application side by side, which is kind of cool. And in that respect, it does sort of replace the dock, and for that I do kind of like it, just because you're going to be able to say have a stock program and have a customized interface for when it is docked on the third of the screen, and then you can switch over to it and make it full screen, and it'll have a even more optimized interface. And there are some other videos that I'll try to link on YouTube sort of showing that kind of stuff off, and some concepts on application interface designs, using that sort of docked at 1/3 of the screen interface, and then going from that to a full screen interface. So let's get back into the start menu. Now you'll notice that I only switched from the Twitter application, I didn't close it. In Windows 8, at least for the Metro applications, you don't actually close them. Again, it's a lot like mobile operating systems like Android, where the applications aren't really closed, they're just sort of suspended. So let's just go ahead and take that time, use that as a tangent to show you guys a new task manager. So same shortcut applies. I believe you can also use Control Shift Escape. Now the new task manager, there's also a slimmed down version. I have it in the expanded mode right now. But as you can see, there's a lot more information at your fingertips, and I really like the improvements that they've made. But you'll see over here, you'll see that I have a lot more applications loaded into memory than I'm actually using right now. A lot of the Metro applications are actually in a sort of hibernation, and they're just basically sort of suspended, so that they're not using processor horsepower, but they are using a little bit of RAM. And you can go in as usual and actually kill the task, but for the most part, unless you're really hurting for RAM, it's not really going to hurt performance too much to just leave them suspended. And especially since Microsoft doesn't really provide an easy way to close the application, it's just kind of a pain in the butt to have to go in a task manager and close it each time. But I'm sure that someone will be along to make some sort of little tweaking application to take care of that. Alright, so now that little tangent is over, let's look around the start menu a bit more. So you do have, scrolling left to right with touch as usual. You do have pinch to zoom. You can also rearrange tiles. Sometimes it's a bit finicky though as to what it will recognize as selecting and or dragging, at least on this hardware here. Now, another thing that Microsoft has done is to retool a few of the traditional Windows applications into having Metro variants. So, for example, you have Internet Explorer with a new skin, same backend and rendering engine, but a new user interface that's a lot more oriented towards touch users, just because it's very slimmed down. You don't have any tabs. In fact, we'll just go ahead and show it. So as you can see, I already have a website loaded here, and you can, scroll around the page. Not sure that it doesn't appear. Yeah, okay, so there is pinch to zoom. And along the bottom, if I can get it to open up, come on. Don't actually remember how to open that. Oh, okay, here it goes. So if you drag up from the bottom of the screen, first it wasn't recognizing it, but I think that's more of a hardware/driver issue than a Windows 8 issue. So anyway, if you drag up from the bottom of the screen, you're going to see, basically a history. You're going to be able to go in and select from that, but again, there are no tabs. It's just basically forward and back. along the bottom you have a standard fare of you know, back button, URL bar, refresh, things of that nature. But again, you can't close it, so you're just gonna have to either kill the task or leave it suspended. So obviously I hope that Windows 8 machines have a bit more RAM than things these days. But again, you know, RAM's pretty freaking cheap these days. You know, I've seen 8 GB kits for less than $50, so I mean, you know, I don't think people are going to be hurting too much. But again, like I was saying, with Microsoft redoing some traditional Windows applications into this Metro UI, with Control Panel now, instead of, you know, going into the Metro UI, finding Control Panel, and then going immediately out to the desktop, Microsoft has, you know, retooled things and reorganized stuff to try to make it a little bit more touch friendly now. There are, you know, so many options and settings in Control Panel that things are they're either, you know, too dumbed down or not all that easy to hit with your finger in this. But for the most part, that, you know, I think they did as good of a job as, you know, you really can. You know, maybe a, you know, a bit more tweaking could make, you know, finger recognition work a little bit better. Maybe integrate some pinch to zoom so you can drill down into some of these smaller settings. But for the most part, it's decent. Now, what I don't like about it is that it doesn't include all of the settings, and, you know, naturally that is going to be a drawback of minimizing and quote unquote dumbing it down for a tablet, is that you're not really going to be able to pack all the settings into one place. You are able to, if you saw what I did there, I scrolled all the way down and clicked on more settings, and it actually brings up the traditional Control Panel with, you know, all the amenities that come with it. Now, one thing that I haven't shown you guys yet is the on-screen keyboard, and that is one area of Windows 8 Metro that I really like. So we're going to go ahead and show that. And actually, I am mistaken there. It's not only in Metro, but you know, I'm sure that it did have a hand in pointing them in the right direction. What can we open here? Alright, let's open up the Twitter application. And let's click there, and you'll see here the new on-screen keyboard. It's a lot more spaced out than Windows 7's, and I think that it's really nice. And the recognition is a lot better than, again, Windows 7 on the same hardware. Alright, well, we won't send that, but, you know, obviously, you know, it's working a lot better than you know, as you can see, it's pretty fast in recognizing your typing. Now, you're definitely not going to be able to type as fast as you are going to be able to on a keyboard, but for the most part it's pretty quick. I haven't tried you know, like getting all hardcore on the keyboard typing, just because I'm not all that great at typing on touchscreens, so I don't really think I'm the best judge of character. But just from the little bit that I have used it, especially when this computer's in slate mode, it's really nice, and I'm actually able to type in my password now on Windows 7. Excuse me. On Windows 7, I don't know what it is about the keyboard, but it just like refuses to acknowledge that I'm hitting some of the keys, so I'll end up typing my freaking password about 10 times and then just saying fuck it and switching it back into keyboard mode and just using the freaking regular keyboard to type it. But with Windows 8, I actually you can usually get it typed in the first try, and so yeah, I mean, I really like it, and I probably will use this computer more in slate mode now that there is actually a decent keyboard to use. And okay, so I'll show you guys. If we go out to the desktop, you can access the on-screen keyboard, and it's adjustable. So as you can see, I undocked it, and from there you are able to, whoops, well, not do that obviously, but we'll go back out here. Come on. You know, you're able to resize it pretty dang it. Alright, well, you know, you get the point. You're able to make it as small or as big as you want, and you're also able to dock it on, you know, bottom or top of the screen. So Windows Tab in Windows 7 was sort of the Arrow, you know, Arrow 3D application switcher, and in Windows 8 it is actually the traditional Alt Tab where it instantly goes to the next application without giving you a little arrow peek. And Alt Tab is actually the way to scroll through applications and have it give you the little preview of the application in question, which I thought was kind of odd. I would have figured it would have been the other way around, but obviously they have their reasons. Now, these tiles can be resized and reorganized as much as you want, and there is also search. So to me, you know, I did some testing and it's on par with, if not a bit faster than Windows 8. However, there is a small caveat in the effect that when it brings up the results, it can be this whole jumbled mess of, you know, of icons and words. And I don't know, I really do prefer the Windows 7 way of doing things, where it just brings it up in the little start menu and it sorts it by type. Microsoft is improving this, and they have claimed that they are working on ways to better organize the search results, so we'll see what happens there. Alright, well, for the most part, I think that is just about all of the you know, Windows 8 touch features that are really useful. If you go into the start menu, there are several, you know, sort of demo / concept applications that you can try out, but I don't know, I mean, I don't really feel like they do anything too differently, you know, than anything we've seen before. It's just sort of full screen now, you know, and you know, for some people like me who normally have their desktop full of windows and wow, that's like the most horrible drawing ever. But okay, anyway, so I was saying, if you're like me and have a whole lot of windows, you're probably not going to appreciate the Metro UI all that much, just because you normally if I needed something in Windows 7, I would just hit the Windows key and start searching and just zip through the start menu without sort of interrupting anything else I was doing. Whereas in Windows 8, it takes you away from the desktop and all your window arrangements and just puts you into this full screen application. And at first it was really like jarring, just going from having a bunch of windows to all of a sudden I'm in this full screen application. And I have since sort of gotten used to it for the most part. But with that said, I don't really like it at the same time. Like I'm used to it and I'm willing to accept it. Probably because this is a tablet and it's not my main machine, so I don't have a whole lot going on usually as far as Windows go, and I can take the time to go into this sort of touch interface. And since it is a tablet, I do appreciate the things that they are doing with touch to make it easier to stay in slate mode. But when I tried it out on my desktop, I don't know, it just sort of grates with me in the way that I use Windows. Not to mention that it really feels kind of clunky using keyboard and mouse to navigate these, touch-oriented applications and, touch-oriented start menu. So I think that's going to be pretty much it. I think I've really covered all the touch stuff that really matters. So that's going to be it for this very, very quick look at the touch aspects of Windows 8. Thanks for watching.